Hey, mama. Jamal, what's going on? Welcome to the Positive Impact Podcast, where we talk about all things relevant to the game that I love. I am your host, Terrell Dozier. Our guest tonight was supposed to be Shane the Dribbling Machine. Unfortunately, Shane cannot be with us tonight. We spoke, and we're definitely going to reschedule Shane to come on. But I wanted to, I was thinking about just up until a few minutes ago, spoke to my wife about it, whether or not I'll just cancel tonight. But I wanted to come on here and kind of use my platform to kind of talk about, what's been going on, in our country right now. So what I wanted to do was kind of get on here and talk about it, and then give people an opportunity to tap in and be able to discuss how they feel and have some positive dialogue. For me, I'm sure I feel like a lot of you do, and I'm angry, very, very angry. But I'm wrestling with a lot of emotions. The thing I worry about the most is my son. So, and having to have this conversation again, with him about how to handle himself, and, the way that, that we have to feel when he leaves the house in the morning to go to work, and, the worry that, myself and my wife have to go through until he gets home. What happens if he gets pulled over for speeding? What happens if, he, runs a red light, whatever? What happens if he makes a turn without a signal? A ticket, we can handle the ticket. We can pay for the ticket. That's not an issue. The thing that I worry about the most is that going to be it? To have to worry about, is that going to be it? My wife's done, an incredible job of raising a great young man. He's a good kid. But we have to worry about him because of the color of his skin. And that's not, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with black men and black young men losing their lives. And I'm not okay with mothers and fathers losing their kids, and I'm not okay with kids losing their fathers and mothers, and and losing family members. I'm not okay with it. And normal things like you and I would do if we were in that position where we shot somebody, or we choked somebody out, man, and they died, like, it wouldn't even be a question of what would happen to us. So it's disheartening. It's disheartening, and we can go back to Rodney King, and to see this stuff happening. Like, it's being filmed, and we see it happening, and they find a way to say it's not the way that we saw it. It makes you angry. It makes you angry, and I think that we're looking for some type of understanding to what's going on with us. I think we've all learned how to be, we've been taught to love one another, regardless of the color of your skin, and it's not that way. It's not that way, man. And there's so many people who can justify the things that are going on, and there's really no justification to it if you're a human being. So, I talk to my wife and I talk all the time about it. Like, if it was the other way around and you know, somebody did this to a white person, it wouldn't make us happy. Somebody getting killed like that, it's either right or it's wrong. It's just wrong thing. It's not a color thing, but when it continues to happen to people that look like us, it makes you very, very angry. It makes you very, very angry. And some people can't understand where your anger comes from. So I kind of wanted to get on here tonight and speak about it, So like I said, Shane couldn't be with us tonight, and we will reschedule him. But I want to definitely, I don't want this night to go to waste. Like I want some people to get up on here tonight and kind of talk about, how they feel about it. So, tap in, request to be seen, and let's get on here and talk a little bit. We got about an hour, and I wanted to get my feelings out, and I wanted some other people to get their feelings out too. Like it's a lot. It's a lot to take in as a person, but like I said, when you have a child that you have to, it's different, man. It's a different type of prayer that you got to do when your kid leaves the house, man. It's different, man. And I think about my wife, not just about my kid, but even me. What she has to worry about, having two black men in her home. You know what I'm saying? Like, the worrying that she has to go through, and what do we tell our kids that are coming up in this time as well? Because we got to educate our own. It's been going on for so long, and it's got to stop. So I see my man Rodney want to tap in, so I'm gonna have him. But if y'all want to tap in, man, let me know, man. I want to hear everything. I want to hear everybody. All right. You there, Crop?
Yeah, boy,
What's
peace,
up,
peace,
man?
man.
Peace. So
Oh
yeah, so
man,
we on here just talking, man, about what's going on, man. You and I talk all the time, man. Go ahead and get some stuff off your chest. And if anybody else, like I said, if anybody else wants to, get on here and say their piece tonight, request to be seen, and I want to hear you out as well.
peace, man,
The
peace to
floor is yours.
everybody out there, man. Doge, I love what you're doing, man. We talk all the time. Let me first, just big you up, man. We've known each other since young men, and I'm proud of the man you've become. Proud of your constant reinventing of yourself as well, brother. So let me get that out first. And I appreciate you having this
Appreciate you.
because uh even today, man, I went to work and it's just like, having to deal with being in a responsible position. I'm the operations manager of about 15 people I'm in charge of, man, and all minorities, you know what I mean? And um it's just disheartening times. I'm a father of five. I have five children, four daughters and one son, ranging from ages 27 all the way down to 21 to the age of 7. um so yeah, man, this is hitting me, man. I try to stay out the way, those, because my energy, and those that know me, man, I try to kind of stay away from that core, which I didn't grow up with a father, man. I had a single mom, helped by my grandmother, so I got a lot of pain and anger in me, you know what I'm saying? So when stuff like this happen, man, I have to do the best to try to reach and stay towards that positive light always, because a single thing, man, could trigger my demons, you know what I'm saying? So um the one thing I would say, man, is people have to get involved. People have to get involved. And like right now, and I don't mean to, this isn't a division thing, but I want to speak on, I live here in Connecticut, man. I live in Middletown, Connecticut. And um, when stuff happens, a lot of people would like to be reactive, right? And so we get a lot of reactive, oh, wow, I'm sorry this. And people that are not of color reaching out and saying, yo, my friend over here, like sort of like posterizing us still, you know what I'm saying? And me and my wife are the ilk right now. That's not good enough, you know. My wife here in town, and something you know, everything that's going on and everybody, like, that's actually going to put cops in danger. It's insensitive to the community, and it's stuff like that where I think that, you know, certain white people, when we speak, need to understand we're not talking about you. Straight like that. Like, that's just something, is a cultural thing. Like, if you know you're doing right and your heart is in the right place, it shouldn't be heavy, and you shouldn't be reaching out talking about, oh, I'm with you and all of this. As we speak right now, dude in my neighborhood fly a Trump flag, and I know he's a cop in another town. And I say, and I'm cordial to this guy all the time, man, and it's killing me because I want to go up to this dude and I want to have a real conversation, but I don't even know if I'm ready, homeboy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know me, so I'm just glad you allow this, man. I don't want to stay on too long, but I think my point in this, and before I leave, is that we need to get involved locally. Everybody needs to be involved in their local politics. We need to stop thinking that Facebook posts mean anything. All of that stuff is nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's a false voice. So if we're not getting out in our own communities and pressing forward for things in the educational system, we've had issues here in the town where kids have come to the school and flown the Confederate flag, and it's kind of just been combed over. We had another instance in town here where something happened, and they wanted to. We had a forum down in the council, and the people who were being basically told that they were on the wrong side of things wanted to speak as well. So it's that type of stuff where everybody wants to speak when it's our turn to speak. So I think friends of everybody, you know what I mean, black, white, but especially our white friends, man, they need to really be pressing out and really talking for us. We need to be able to be silent, and they need to be talking that struggle, because if they don't talk for us, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of change. I really don't. You know, so I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you letting me get on here and vent, man. Peace to everybody else out there with your families, man. Hold each other tight. It's the only solace I get daily. I'm glad this pandemic has my family in the house, because I hear them laugh. And that's the thing that keeps me going. I hear my kids laughing, man. And as a black man that didn't grow up with a family or a father, like that's good enough for me, bro. You know what I mean? So the world, good luck. You know what I'm saying? You don't want my energy. Straight like that, bro. I love you, man.
Love you too, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Word. Peace.
Thank you. Appreciate Rodney coming on, man, and saying his feelings. Rob Lanier, if you're still on here, man, I'd love for you to jump on, man, and hear what you have to say. Dwayne, I'd love for you to get on and hear what you have to say. My wife, if you're ready to get on, I'd love for you to get on and hear what you have to say from your perspective. I would love for that to happen. So if you're on here, I want to hear what you got to say. So, you know, like I said, for me, I just got off a Zoom call with some college coaches, man, and had some powerful conversations with them. And you know, the one thing one of the coaches was saying, he got an 11-year-old son, man, and was just, you know, he was just saying, you know, the conversation that he had to have with his kid was, you know, like you have to memorize my phone number. Memorize my phone number. Like, there's certain things that we got to teach our kids, you know, about when they're not with us, that are super important. You know what I mean? You know, my son is not allowed to have his insurance and registration card in the glove compartment of his car. It must now sit in the sun visor of his car, because I don't want him to have to reach over and that get misconstrued as, you know, a sudden type of action. So it's these types of conversations that, you know, we have to have. It's not, you know, and it's not fair, you know what I mean? Because you have to keep having the same conversations over and over again. Another coach was said that he was in Atlanta, and him and his 11-year-old son was driving down after, you know, they had a riot in Atlanta, and he had to keep explaining to his child why. And I think that's the question that we're all asking is why. And we have to see these things happen on TV. You know, we have to see these things happen on TV. And it's crazy. It's crazy to hear it. It's crazy to see it. Chris Williams, I see you're on here. I'd love for you to tap in and get your views on what's going on. Toby, I just referenced your story. I would love for you to get on and speak. So this is just a platform for everybody tonight to just get on here. Like I said, Shane couldn't be with us, but there's a lot for us to talk about. You know what I mean? So I'd love to hear everybody's views on here, man. If you want to get on and speak to everybody and kind of get what get what you're feeling off your chest a little bit, because I think everybody likes to hear, and I think it's therapeutical to hear, hear what other people have to say about it. So if you want to get on, that'd be great. Just just tap in. Just tap in. So, as an educator, also, with what's going on already, and not being at a school, just everything's being done, with the pandemic, like everything that's being done online, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so we don't have the access to our students like we normally would. So like, what do you tell them right now? You know what I mean? Like now what do you say? So we're working on getting, you know, getting that message out, to the kids, like, because, you know, these kids need to hear it. These kids need to definitely hear the message that's going on. And at some point this has to stop. This has to stop. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times, like I think a lot of times, we see what happened, and this is part of it. Like, we don't get the justice, and honestly, we start burning shit up because we're mad because it's happening again. It's happening again. This is not a recent behavior. This has been going on for forever. Slavery. This has just been going on, man. There's a lot of people, it's a lot of people out there right now that's, you get people saying, like, we wish we had Martin Luther King right now. But you know what? Martin Luther King was taken out too by white people. And like, what he was doing wasn't respected. Now that's everybody's excuse for it. Like, nah, like, what needs to happen is people who kill people need to be held accountable, whether you're a cop, whether you're a regular person or not. That's just the bottom line. That's what the justice system says. Our justice system is screwed up. That's the bottom line. And then, right, leadership starts at the top. I'm not touching on that, but y'all understand what I'm saying. So we don't have anybody in this. We don't have anybody in this to help lead us. We got somebody that's saying, nah, take the streets back. So I think I read somewhere today, like, go back to, like, Do the Right Thing, the movie Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee. And everybody was like, listen, why didn't Mookie throw the trash can through the window? And nobody asked why Radio Raheem died. Like, that's significant. That's super significant, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think these are the questions that we've had to ask over time, and people can't understand why we are the way that we are. You got to sit down. You got to sit back and look at it. And us as Black people, like I said, when people die, it doesn't matter who it is. If it's messed up, it's messed up. But nobody looks at it that way. I want to see any human being that can handle for 8 to 9 minutes somebody with their knee on their neck. Whether you're gonna die, whether you're white, Black, or whatever, you need oxygen to breathe. You need oxygen to breathe. Everybody's built that way. If you cut off somebody's oxygen, they're going to die. But you hear somebody saying, I can't breathe, and you don't ease up. These are things that you can't understand. This is what you got to explain to a young child as to why would they do that? Because police are quote unquote here to protect and to serve. I think it's bullshit. So Chris, I see you want to get on, so I'm trying to put you on if you can accept. And then Dwayne, I see you want to get on too, so I'm gonna make sure y'all get on. But you might have to hit the request button. There should be a request button on there if y'all want to get on, and I can accept it. Yeah. Smooth asked to be tapped in. Dwayne asked to be requested on here. There's a request button on there. So how do we? So okay. Here go Chris right here. Hold on one second. Smooth.
How you doing, fam?
What's good with you?
Keep up the great work. I think you're doing a marvelous job. I think this is an excellent opportunity for African American males like ourselves to convey and give good information to younger men and younger young ladies and see that we can articulate ourselves and explain what's going on without being so angry, because obviously the situation does cause for anger, but for us to make good decisions, always angry. And I think you touched on a point that I just want to hit and I'll get right off. Our system has not been set up for us to be successful. And we have to realize that and understand that. We have to come together, put in systems where we can police ourselves. And what I mean by that is when we see one another in situations where we need assistance, we have to come to the aid. You and I, situation a couple of years ago, you remember a young man who was at a restaurant. Things got out of hand. Everyone in the restaurant, mostly the restaurant, were Caucasian, white people.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone got so upset about what was going on with this one young man. Obviously, there was a young lady. The young lady was Caucasian. But it seems as though, from our perspective, that everyone rushed her aid without understanding whatever was going on. We had no idea what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
What did we do? We went to the young man to tell him to relax. Don't get too excited because everyone will come on you.
Mm-hmm.
You were a little shocked at what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Smooth. Why did you go right to him? We, as men, older men, just have to have that ability. Everyone can't do it, but the ones who have to take the lead. I touched him on the chest. Listen, just relax. Relax. Don't say or do anything right now. Put yourself in jeopardy and get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
That easily turned into something at the time was probably a 5,
Mm-hmm.
escalated to an 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
We turned it into a 3. He left. Nothing else happened.
Mm-hmm.
They went for the cops, so we undercover. No, we were policing ourselves. We all have to understand it's not about the system policing us. We have to take care of ourselves if we want the justice that we deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Starts with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I wanted to say, bro. Keep up the great work. I was with some basketball this afternoon, but I think it's much better. Shane, we, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, Smooth.
Oh.
All right. Dwayne, if you see the request button, I think this might be you. Okay. What up, man?
Hey, peace, Doze. How you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, man. Talk to us, man, a little bit.
Hey, man, I just wanted to get on for a quick minute, man. First and foremost, I gotta, definitely give the praise and all due to the man above, first and foremost, regardless of what times that we are in right now and that we're living and enduring. Secondly, I gotta big yourself up, man. This is the whole realm of what you're doing, man, speaks volumes to not only adults, but to all those young men that you are reaching, man. I applaud you. Salute, definitely.
Appreciate you.
All right. Now, I'm not going to preach too long. I don't even want to think about it as preaching, but I just want to give you a couple. For me, myself, as an educator who's been in the teaching field for the last 15 years, I just look at this completely different. Because me, myself, as I try to teach my kids and educate them, and when I say my kids, I call them my kids in regards to my students, because that's how I feel about them. Mm-hmm. But the relation when you're speaking to them is so far off of the reality of what we've seen and what we've lived that they're not able to make a connection. This time, this situation, this instance, if nothing else, would and should awaken our youth of today, who always sit around and say, I don't know about Rodney King. I don't know about Malcolm X. I don't know about Malcolm. I don't know about Martin, excuse me. Well, now, of all people, you know of George Floyd, okay? Now, it doesn't take a red, it doesn't take a yellow, blue, green, whatever color that you present yourself as to understand that the playing field is not the same. With that being said, we must arm our youth with the tools to be able to make change. Because as we sit here ourselves, we know it's not going to come from our generation. It's not. And to be able to reach these younger children now, for them to be able to see these things, for them to be able to express themselves. Because when you're looking around on the news right now, you've seen a lot of young men, young black men, taking control on the streets in the sense of stop looting, stop doing this, kneel with me, kneel with us. It's going to take that generation to reach the masses, because the generations that we grew up with don't care. Regardless to how you want to look at it, they don't care. Whether they say it's there and they haven't seen it, or they're naive to say, yeah, well, it doesn't happen all the time, or it's only situational. It's time for those people to step aside and let the younger people who can actually see what's going on make change. Period.
No doubt. No doubt, man. No doubt. No doubt. I appreciate you coming on and getting it off your chest and how you feel. You know, like I said, you're just echoing a lot of sentiments that we all feel, man. So I appreciate you coming on here and talking to me about it.
Definitely, man. I appreciate the platform that you not only, and that's just it though, you creating a platform for not only, you know, others around you, man. I mean, not only for yourself, but for everybody else around you, man. And it's really a powerful thing, man. I appreciate that a lot. It's really powerful what you're doing, man.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, dog.
Absolutely, man.
Yes.
You know what time it is.
Yes, sir. Love you, man.
Love you, boy.
Okay. I think you got to hit the end on it, Deez.
Oh, see. I ain't even too equipped with it. Let me see what I got. See there? Oh, I think that might have been it. Damn, I might even have to get up out of here complete.
I got you. So I appreciate Dwayne getting on, man. So, you know, I think that's the other thing too, is like, how do we help our young people now so that this don't happen in another 20 years? Or do we have to tell our kids, hey, listen, man, like we gotta tell our kids it's gonna happen again. Like, what do we do? What do we do now? What do we do now? So, you know, I think the other cops got charged. And I think the thing is, like, what takes so long when you kill somebody, what takes it so long to charge cops? Like, why are we looking for so much evidence before they get charged when it's right there on camera? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you put your knee on somebody's neck and that's a third-degree murder? Like, nah, like, you know what I mean? And so, you know, there's all these images that I see, and I'm not a big, you know, politician person or, you know, or whatever the case may be. But when you see certain things like that support what's going on, so you could take Kaepernick taking a knee. And like I said, they're able to say to him why he's doing something that he's doing. Okay? Kaepernick is taking a knee for exactly what's going on right now. Now he's doing it to disrespect the flag. You can't tell that man that. But Tim Tebow is able to take a knee for abortion and nobody looks at it as disrespectful. Like, how can you not look at it one way or the other? How can you say that there's a level playing field here? So, Sasha, I'm gonna let you get on right now. I'm gonna let you say your piece. Kavi, what's going on, man?
Oh, my bad. I wasn't ready.
Oh, sorry. You asked to come on.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, brother.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Speak your
Rodney,
piece.
let me make sure I can hear you.
Okay.
I wanted to give some action items people can take in their community if they want to actually see some change.
Mm-hmm.
First, I love you and thank you for doing this.
Nah, we love you all too. Y'all know that. Y'all know how the Doziers feel about the Crockett's.
Absolutely, every day. So the first thing is forcing your police department to create a civilian review board so that police aren't just policing each other, because that doesn't really amount to anything. And making sure they're taking de-escalation training, which is what I've learned is that I really didn't know my police department. I didn't know what they stood for. There's a system of policing called broken window policing. And that means like harassing homeless people or arresting somebody for smoking a joint. That's about meeting quotas. And the people who are more susceptible from being abused in that way are people of color. So you need to find out how your town polices. Are they about maintenance and law maintenance and making sure that people are abiding by rules, or is it just law enforcement and militarized policing? If they understand you should need to find out if your community knows the difference. They have to have a mission, and if your community doesn't have a mission, what happens is the quotas become about abusing the most vulnerable people, which happen to be poor Black and brown people. That's the number one thing I think people need to understand is that the police work for us. They're not their it's not up for them to decide what their mission is. It's up for us to tell them and to organize as Black people specifically, but especially with our white allies, and all people of color need to be coming together and demanding these things, because I don't think much is going to change unless there is community and civilians policing the police. So that's all I wanted to add.
I appreciate that. Now, thank you for coming on and sharing. Thank you so much.
Always. Thank you for having the forum.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. See you later. If anybody else want to jump on, request to come on, and we'll get you on. We'll definitely get you on. So I think that's the biggest thing is we have to continue to educate. We also have to make sure that we vote. You know what I'm saying? I know yesterday there was a blackout on social media yesterday, and it's like it just goes to show you, like, when we come together, there's really nothing that we can't do when we come together. So there's been a protest in all 50 states. That's major. That's putting the pressure on them to take this thing from a, that's what's making the Minneapolis police move. It shouldn't take that, but I think what we're doing is going in the right direction. And I think a big piece is like sometimes we do a lot of stuff in the moment when it happens. So we're outraged when things happen in the moment. But we have to sustain this thing so this stuff doesn't happen again. There's some alarming statistics out there. I talked about the Kaepernick thing. What I mean? And the difference is, the difference with the Kaepernick thing. And then, they crucified Mike Vick for a dog, for killing a dog, for dog fighting. Michael Vick had to do time. Mike Vick lost millions of dollars. They still hate Michael Vick today. But somebody put something out there that for all the 493 unarmed black people that have been killed, Michael Vick did more time than all the cops combined in all those 493 murders. I think that's ridiculous. That's what kind of statistic is that? They hate one man for a dog. I love dogs. But when a dog has more rights than a human, that's crazy. Like, people will lose their minds over animals, but stay silent when it comes to a human being. And again, wrong is wrong. Somebody get killed for no reason, it's wrong. Except when it comes to us. So the initial autopsy said he had underlying issues. So if you got underlying health issues, that's what happened. So underlying health, if that cop didn't have his knee on this man's neck, he would have died anyway because he got underlying health issues. If you're a healthy human being, can you sit there with a knee in your neck for 8 minutes and survive? What does that have to do with anything? But these are the excuses that they'll give to get these cops off, and then they wonder why we're so mad. Well, they lost their job. That's not enough. When you can't trade a job for a life. You can't trade a job for a life. How can you even make that comparison? Right? Because if I'm still living, that means I got the opportunity to go get another job. But this man can't get his life back. His daughter doesn't get her father back. That's what I'm talking about. My wife sends me to the grocery store, and she's expecting me back in a few minutes, and I don't come back. So, like I said, I don't usually do a lot of this type of stuff. I kind of internalize. My wife and I will talk about it. You know what I mean? But it's enough is enough. That's what we're saying. Enough is enough. Like, how much can you take? Like, how many times can we sit here and talk to one another on the phone? And how many times can we post on social media? Damn, man, it sucks, man. And how many times can we see today would have been such and such's birthday? Like, it's so screwed up, man. It's so screwed up, man. And we're supposed to live in the best country in the world. Land of the free, home of the brave. But again, I gotta go look at the top. When teams lose, they look at the coach. If your kids aren't behaving in school, whatever, it's the parents' fault because it starts at home. But when our country is like this, we got to start at the top. And when you got your quote unquote leader saying, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Listen, we got to get to the polls, man. We got to get to the polls. We can't endure another 4 years of this, man. We got to make some changes. And peaceful protest is a start, but we got to get to them polls, man. No matter how many peaceful protests that we have, if we got somebody like this in charge, man, this stuff is going to keep going. I don't think there's ever been a time in our country where racism did not exist, but it's on such another level. It's on such another level, and this police brutality just takes it to the max. And and there's people who out there who actually condone this, which is crazy. You can't be a human being and condone anybody being killed for no reason. Us as Black people is not going to applaud a white person's life getting taken on film. It's fucked up no matter how you look at it. And again, it just enrages me because now I have to have another conversation with my son like he did something wrong and he didn't. But I have to get through to him how serious that this is. And and when you got a kid who just, he does what you ask him to do, but there's still a chance that he might have to do. It's not fair. It's not fair. So, I had to do this. I had to do this. I had to do this tonight, man. I had to, it was on my heart to do. And I think like, sometimes, things happen for a reason. Like I said, I was on with some African American college coaches a little early, and the conversation was just so powerful, man. And it enraged me, man. Like, it just enraged me, man. Like, and then the thing that gets me is like, shoot, man, I remember being 19 years old and hurting my knee in a basketball game. And just like if I was a little kid, the first thing I said when I got hurt was I asked for my grandmother. This grown man's mom's been dead for 2 years, and this man called out to his mother. That's gut-wrenching. I just know it. That's the first thing that used to come to my head when I got hurt or when I was hurting, because your mom makes everything better. So what if that was my wife and my son was calling out for his mom and she couldn't do nothing about it because she don't know what's happening? I can't even imagine my wife having to hear, yeah, he called out for his mother and my wife couldn't be there to protect her son. These are the things that we have to ask ourselves every day, and we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to. And it's sad, but we have to, we have to do something about it. And it's really up to us as, as individuals to get with other individuals, and we got to do something. We got to do something together. And I think that, we have to have more dialogue about it, because this is serious. You know what I mean? Like we have to definitely have more, more dialogue about it. It's crazy. And I personally think that it's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a big fan of all the, of the looting. I wish, I'm about the peaceful protest, you know what I'm saying? But, I think that, we have to kind of keep the energy where it needs to, go. We talk about hitting people in their pockets, when that our black dollar means something. Trust me, it does. We got more influence, man. We got more influence than than we think that we do. But this is the time that we have to really come together, and not just for now, not just for justice for now, but we need to get that justice now, and we need to keep getting justice moving forward. This can't happen again. I think the part of the reason why, right? So let's say if the cops that did that to Rodney King, if they were charged for murder and they went to jail, I think the next cop would think about what they did, because there's a possibility that they could go to jail too. But if cops are just getting off because they're protected, then shoot. A cop feel like they can do whatever they want to. And these are the people that you put in the academy, and they put their hand up and take all these oaths. So where's the human being that can say, hey, you're doing too much? Those guys just sat there and watched it. Where's the humanity? Where's your integrity to say, yo, let up. He can't breathe. To me, you're just as guilty because you watched it happen. You're an accessory. That's what the law says. You're an accessory. I ain't pulled the trigger, but I was there. I didn't rob the bank, but I drove the car. So you're only making these moves and arresting these officers now because your hand is being forced. That tells me you don't even want to arrest them. You're just working on a way to get them out of it. Listen, you're gonna have to lose your job, but you won't have to do any jail time. So it's like I said, it's just heartening to be here, and every day you stand up, man, and you were taught to take your hat off, man, and salute the flag and hear that national anthem be played and stuff like that. And it's like, damn, man, should I be? It just changes your whole mentality. This whole thing has changed the mentality. Not just the pandemic has changed, man, and the fact that this is happening during the pandemic. Like, we're barely outside. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me, and I don't know what to say, man. And it's sad that nobody really has the answers. You can't tell your young child why, because you're left wondering why too. I just think it's crazy, and like I said, man, I might not be some big wig out there, man, that has millions of followers in the platform, but this is my platform. This is my platform, and we're going to be a part of the change. And the fact that I'm having positive dialogue with you tonight, and I get to get my feelings and my emotions out, that's a start. There's other people whose arms reach a lot longer than me, but we're going to be a part of the equation. I'm going to be a part. I'm going to be a piece to the puzzle for change, and try to figure that out, along with my wife, like what that is. So I was talking to a friend of mine today and said, listen, man, like, we got to support Black-owned businesses now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can we do? What can we do to support Black-owned businesses? We got to do all of that. Like, we got to take care of our own. That's the bottom line, because ain't nobody out there looking out for us. Nobody. They're not looking out for us right now. And that's the sad thing. That's the sad thing about it. Our people live in some of the worst neighborhoods, and we get the least amount of resources and stuff. Like there's so many layers to this thing. There's so many layers to this thing, but honestly, like, we all got stuff going on in our own lives, and we're trying to keep our own safe. My wife and I say all the time, our home is the safest place to be. We don't venture out often. As long as we're here, we're safe. We're safe. I don't care, what we're doing. As long as me, my wife, and my son are in this home, that's the only time I'm okay. I can't imagine it happening. I can't imagine, because I don't know what I might do. But we got to take care of our own, man. We got to find a way. And like I said, it starts with each of us, man. We got to get out there and vote. We got to start looking into policy, everything. We got to start doing that, man. Like, and it starts with, we got to get this dude out of office, man. We got to get this dude out of office, man. We have to. Like, it's crazy, man. If you ain't got a good leader, man, what are we gonna do, man? The one that's seen it, you know what I'm saying? The one that's, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. We got to get this guy out of office first and foremost. But we also got to keep putting the pressure on these police departments to say, hey, listen, man, as policemen, your job, if you're gonna put protect and serve on your building, then do that. Protect us. Protect us. You shouldn't be the one that's killing us. Protect us. There has to be some type of resolve, and everything doesn't resort to that. You're taught that, to defend yourself. This man ain't killed nobody, no nothing. And you had to hold him down while handcuffed with a knee on his neck. But some white kid killed a couple of people and he's on a run, and we give him water to drink. We make sure that he's comfortable. He just took somebody's life, and we making sure that he's comfortable. This dude ain't killed nobody, and we can't make sure that he's comfortable. Tell me what's wrong with that picture. That's what's crazy. That's what makes you pissed off. There's proof of that out there, and nobody addresses that. We just kind of overlook that. So listen, man, I got to get off of here, man, before this thing kicks me off, man. I love all of y'all, man. Thank y'all for giving an ear. Thank y'all for always coming on here on the Positive Impact Podcast and showing me love. Like I said, man, more than ever, man, make sure that you take care of yourself. Make sure that you take care of your own. And let's get through this together. Like, we got to be together. We got to be together. Peace and blessings to everybody.